Can you wait? Question for that. You probably can't wait either.
I can always wait.
Yeah.
As a coach, you can always wait. Because you never have enough time to get things done. You always think you need to work on more things. So as a coach, you always want to wait. You can always use an extra day. That's what coaches do.
What are those extra things that you need an extra day to fix this week?
There's always details. You know, a coach is never satisfied. I never met a coach that's ever been satisfied. My dad's a high school coach, and he could find something wrong 5 minutes before the game started. And most coaches I know, they're all the same. I wish I had more time to work on this, or to work on tackling, work on this formation. So you always worry. That's part of what we do as coaches.
How do you prepare for a quarterback where there's probably not a whole lot of film? You don't want a guy like that.
Well, you prepare for the offensive coordinator and the head football coach. They were an outstanding team last year. I know Dan McCarney. I worked with him for 2 years. Coach Strong and I did. And the one thing I know about this team, they're going to be emotionally ready to go. They're going to be physical. They have 4 starters back on the offensive line. When your offensive line is good, your offense is probably going to be pretty good. They lost some key players. They lost their 2 top receivers, lost their quarterback. When you have 4 starters on the offensive line, you better buckle your stuff up. If not, they can run right through us.
Vance, do you think at all about yourself running onto the field Saturday and kind of being back in there? I know you did a little for the spring game, but just kind of that moment for you?
A little bit. 2 days ago, Coach Strong walked out there and he had an opportunity to speak to the band. And I've said this several times already. The biggest thing I remember about my freshman year is we doing warm-ups and the band marched in. And it's sad that I remember that more than the first time I actually got out there and played. I know that makes no sense, but as a young person, there's certain things you always remember. And I'm excited to get back home. I'm excited to see what the fans are like here. And yeah, I'm really enthused about it right now.
You know who you're going to start next to Mike Hill yet at safety?
We're rotating 2 guys in right now. Dylan Haynes has been in there. Freeman's been in there. Adrian Colbert. So all 3 of those guys are rotating in. All 3 of those guys are going to play. And right now I can't say who's going to start right now. Let's say we have 3 of those guys starting. So a third and a third and a third equals 1. One of those guys might get a little bit more.
Is Jason Hall in that group?
He's in that group.
Yeah, they put up some wins. You had your opponent North Texas last year. What did they do so well as a team last year, especially on offense?
On offense, ran the ball. We sit back and we watch the Georgia game. They went into Athens, and for 3.5 quarters, now they gave Georgia all they wanted. They ran the football. They changed the pace a little tempo, got back and ran the ball. And one thing about Dan McCarney's team, he is not going to beat himself. He's going to play smart, and when he has an opportunity to make a play, he's going to take shots at opportune times. So we got to be smart. We got to keep the ball inside and in front. We got to let our defensive line go play. Once again, I think we have a really good defensive line here, and we need to let those guys be players this year. That means the secondary, just keep the ball inside and in front and let those big dogs go hunt.
Hey, Vance, I'm sorry, did you say Edwin Freeman is one of those guys?
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Jason Hall.
Okay.
I apologize. My fault. I apologize. Just walked off the practice field a little bit tired. So.
Well, along those lines, are you still expecting to move Quandre on the slot in the nickel?
He's our nickel back. Okay. He's probably one of the best nickel backs I've been around. Has great awareness, and that's part of what that position is. And he's playing physical right now. He's healthy right now. I'm excited to see him, this senior year, to see what he's going to be all about.
Are you starting to see what you want to see out of Hassan Ridgeway when you see that light turning on?
The light is starting to turn on, but it's not all the way on just yet. He's made great strides. He's doing things a lot better. He even has a smile on his face. It's good to see him smiling a little bit. He's a big giant, and I love to watch him play. And when that light turns on all the way now, he could be a special player.
You talked about you want to play the nickel 80% of the time. Is this one of those games where it might be a little less because they're a power team, or?
Again, it's based on what they're doing. If they're in a situation where they're playing 3 and 4 wide receivers, you need to be in nickel. They're playing 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, and we're being base. It's all based on what they're doing offensively. So we have to substitute based on what they're doing. If they're running the ball, we need to have big guys in there. If they're throwing the ball, we need to have small guys in there.
Coach, you listen to the so-called experts, and they say that this is going to be a team that's carried by its defense, especially early on as the defensive coordinator. Do you puff out your chest a little bit here and that? Your ears perk up? How do you take it?
No. I don't buy the paper too often, so my wife and I had a chance to go to church on Sunday, and I bought a paper. And I saw 2 of our local columnists had us 7 and 5. I have nothing to worry about. There's no expectation whatsoever. So here in our local paper, they say, well, we might win games at home, but no one win on the road. So I have nothing to worry about. We 7-5, then you know what? They were experts and they were right. I'm good as gold.
Appreciate you
We'll
buying
tell,
that.
we'll tell me say thanks.
Yeah.
How important is it for your team to go out there, especially your line, and kind of set that tempo, early on?
You know, anytime you play at home, if you ever talk about winning championships to start at home in your own backyard, if you can't do things right at home, you can't do right things anywhere. So that's one thing we talk about here. Defend your house. We need to be physical on defense. Our defensive front needs to put their hand on the ground and tee off. They need to be in the backfield. If they're not, then we're not playing good defense. We want to be aggressive with the front, turn them loose. And as I said earlier, the secondary, keep the ball inside and front, and our big guys go win this game for us.
Kind of along those lines, man, aside from the scoreboard, what things do you look at to say, okay, this was good, this was not good, whether it's statistically or what, are the things that you measure that you think, hey, we're doing the right thing? At
the end of the game, when we come back and on Sunday look at the video, the first thing that we all look for as coaches is that we give great effort pursuit. Okay. First thing we're going to look at we're going to look at loss. We don't have 11 guys going to the ball like they're hungry, trying to get something to eat, then we're doing something wrong. The next thing we're always going to talk about tackles. Normally if you have less than 10 missed tackles a game, you're going to win a lot of ball games. If you have more than 10, you're probably going to lose that ball game. Then we look at big plays. If we have breakdowns and a ball broke through, whether it's a run or pass, why did it break through, what went wrong, who was not in the right gap, the details of executing the defense. And then I tell the kids all the time, let's go out and have some fun. As hard as we work, game day is fun. Turn it loose, enjoy it, because you only go around once. So enjoy the moment right now. If I could go back to 1977 when I was a freshman, I enjoyed my time at that. So these guys say, go have some fun, because you won't ever get this game back. When Sunday rolls around, you can't go back and say, I wish I would have done that. It's over with. You got to live in the precious present.
What do you consider a big play? Is there a yardage?
A big play, if it's a run over 15, a pass over 20, we got a lot of problems. So we need to eliminate those things.
Time for two last ones.
Vance, you know the numbers from this defense over the last couple of years, and kind of like what you're saying, you need to limit big plays. Have you talked to them? Have you played psychiatrists, psychologists at all, saying, hey, if you do give up a big play, forget about it? Have you spoken to them at all about anything that's happened the last couple of years now as they get set?
You have to talk about the past. You learn from the past. The thing that when you look at the media, they want you to live in the past. The things that I learned with coaches I've been around, they say live in the precious present. Live in the moment. Live for right now. If you think about what happened a play ago or yesterday or last year, then you have issues. So no matter what happens, good or bad, you live for the play that's in front of you right now. And if we do that, we'll be okay. Because things are going to happen. They have 85 scholarship players like we have 85 scholarship players. And every once in a while, bad things do happen. That's what football is all about. And if it does, life goes on. Let's get up. Let's go play again. We'll get it corrected. And then Sunday we get in there. Then I give you my thoughts on what happened. So let's not let it happen again.
Last one.
Coach, you talk about defending the house. Still 9,000 or so tickets left for Saturday. If you had a message to fans that might be thinking about staying home, what would you tell them?
Staying at home? What do you mean staying at home? I hear that the state of Texas, it's all about what? Football. Friday Night Lights, the University of Texas. What do you mean we have 8,000 or 9,000 tickets left? People out there, get off your duff and go buy these tickets. It should be standing room only. If not, don't complain. Don't say anything. Get in that stands right now. Cheer us on the victory. North Texas State, when they're on offense, should not hear a thing. They should not be able to check. Why? It's standing room only. It should be 105,000 and fire marshals outside saying, get out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.